All right, guys, here we're talking about Daredevil Season 3, Episode 11.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ends video.
Yeah.
Plays title card music. So the mom was just out for a walk.
Yes.
She sees the fake Daredevil. This episode is all about the church. The church is on lockdown, and they're like hiding, and there's a whole game. I didn't love this episode. I'll put it that way.
There's parts of it that were okay.
Parts that are fine, definitely.
I like that they're hiding in a tomb.
Yes.
And there's no body in that tomb.
Well, they threw that in the closet. They threw the mummified Catholic remains into like a closet, and they were like, "Shh, gonna hide in here." Yes.
I was surprised that the nun wasn't kidnapped.
Sure.
Like, I thought that was like, that goes without saying, the nun didn't get kidnapped.
Yeah. And I was on board for that.
Fisk knew all along that it was his mother.
Yeah. Well, so, like, that's, again, where we outplay ourselves, right? By, like, trying to predict something. Because, like, why else would the nun not be there except for, like, a story-relevant reason? And then it's like, I was getting a gelato around the corner. Like, it makes no sense for her to just
but it makes as little
around.
sense for her to be, like, kidnapped in general. It's like, how did he know to 10 years in advance start a loan practice to hurt Foggy's family? Like,
but that's consistent with the thing. So we can use that as a springboard to make new predictions, right?
Yes.
Here it's just like, so she was just out there randomly, undefended and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we don't have to recap the entire order of the events, but there's a game of cat and mouse. There's a game of your jurisdiction and my jurisdiction. There's the nun talking and the people interviewing people and little side conversations.
Like, how long do you think they were actually outside the church in the involvement?
2 weeks. It seems like
it seemed like it was a very long time, and all that time though.
It reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises. There's just this gigantic thing happening.
But all that time, it's like, okay, that ambulance still hasn't left yet.
No.
At the end, it's like still there. I'm like, can we get this man a coat? He wasn't like pulled out of the river. He showed up to the church like that. He should be an adult. And why is he still here in the first place? They don't know anything.
I don't know.
Like, did you see anything? Yeah, it was Daredevil. All right then, you can leave. Like, that should be how it is.
So I don't know realistically how long they were there, but even if we just
look, like a block party, they were there forever.
If we look at the events, right, that happened, those things take time to happen. They hide, they come back. It was obviously like a solid 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
It can't have just been like 12 minutes or whatever you would believe based on the state of things.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I was picturing like this is a 3-something hour event.
Right. And he even said, okay, so like Nadine at one point even says, like,
we've been here too long.
Yeah, and well, and then Dex is like, we're staying here. Do you want to be the one to go tell Fisk that we failed? And he's like, all right, we'll give it a few more hours, as if to say, this has been this gigantic thing. Yeah. No, I know, and like that's not a deal breaker. I can like go along with stuff if you're giving me
the sun is rising.
If you're giving me delicious nectar to feed on. I will like pretend that it's a real flower, and we can just get on with our business transaction. But no, this whole thing. At one point, he's like, they brought dogs, we're fucked. And then, like, the nun's already upstairs with, like, a little nun to, like, lie to them. Daredevil's next door.
I saw him in the orphanage.
And then it cuts back downstairs. It's like, comical the way it's, like, cut. It cuts back downstairs. The dogs are leaving. It's this stupid, it's like this horrible.
But I didn't take it as they were leaving that room. I was like, they're leaving the facility. Like, their dogs are done. So, like, hours in each segment.
No, but I mean, like, we only know there's dogs because he says, there's dogs, and then it immediately.
Oh yeah, you never even see the dog.
It immediately cuts to someone saying, "Oh, Daredevil left, I guess," and then it cuts back to Daredevil saying, "The dogs are leaving." Like, there's no spacing or pacing or time between these events.
Yeah.
There's no you do see the dogs for like a second because
they're never actually looking.
You never see them searching.
They go to Dex and he's like, "No, go to the bad guy."
Hey guys, come on, or whatever. Yeah. Which is a nice little thing.
But what are they even smelling off of? Like, what is it? Did they grab the stick out of the priest? Sniff this
baton. No, I don't know.
It just seemed very awkward. Like, what are you hunting for? Like, could the dogs even have found Daredevil had they gone into the basement? Because would they just look for anything in the world?
They'd have to in the real world, right? You would have something that belonged to Karen, and you would give it to the dog in like a little plastic bag to like isolate it and be like, huff on this, dude, and he'd be like, got it, and he would like go find Karen.
Yeah, but they don't have that. Unless they went to her apartment and took some of her. Like, here's her hairbrush. There you go, dog.
They have had hours. So
yeah.
Excuse me.
They could have cloned her from it.
They could have grown a whole clone to full size. No, so like that, this occupies a lot of the episode. There's a lot of people talking and plans being made. We'll just finish it off, I guess, then. Foggy shows up, and like that's the thing, which is not exactly the same thing that we just did with Foggy, but
it's very similar.
It's similar enough that I hate it, right?
Yeah, Foggy comes to save the day with the law.
Yeah,
and
with the law and his awkward thing where it's like, oh, what are you doing here, Foggy? And he's like, I'm stalling for time. And I'm like, that's charming, I guess, but I've been waiting for things to really kick in and really like get good in this episode. And this is not. We're just sort of moving forward.
I like that Nadim kind of flips again. He's back on like the side of right.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what does he say? Something to the effect of like, if he goes with them, within 10 minutes they'll be dead.
Oh, and that like they could have done that slightly better, but I thought it was still really good. Because like a word, officer, and they walk off, and he puts his hands on his hips like he's like dressing him down, and he says, "Listen, if you take Karen away from here, she's gonna be dead before she reaches the station, all right? Or like if we take her, right? You have to take her or whatever. Don't react. No, just go do it. Okay." And then he walks off, shaking his head like he's gonna take her. And then this whole thing, right? They could have made that a little less subtle and like more like he was like like Michael Weston, criminal mastermind, like one step ahead guy. So it might have just been like an accident, and I'm reading into it, but it felt really cool in my head.
No, I
like
it.
Buddy. But then,
and Daredevil can hear the whole thing, so he's like, okay, we have someone that we can trust.
So I kind of Daredevil's for some reason on the roof though now, and I know the dog's left, and I know Karen's been out in like the open for like 30 seconds, but Daredevil has since though ended up on the roof. So like they could have gotten out at like any time apparently, because they cut to him on the roof listening to everything. I feel like it was just a poorly thought out thing. He doesn't have to be on the roof.
No,
he could have just been downstairs.
But also. To say they could have gotten away at any time might not be true.
He
may have been able to get away at any time.
Sure.
I don't think she would. If she's wearing high heels, like I don't know if she can make the jump from one roof to another roof,
No, I know.
Well, then she's barefoot, which is arguably worse. Have you seen Jurassic Park?
No, they had special. They had homeless clothes they could have put on.
Sure.
Which might have included shoes.
Have been
it's
homeless
fine.
shoes.
It's not the end of the world, but like I was already reeling from the unusually bad structure of like the dogs are here. Oh, the dogs are gone. And now it's like, oh, it just cuts to him on a roof because that's where Daredevil listens to things, on a roof. Even though he's been in the basement this whole episode, and it never comes into play. Like yes, later he's not there anymore, but you can assume because Karen's being let out and they're all like, we screwed up, that they would just leave and then he could get out. He doesn't have to be on the roof yet. Seemed weird, felt sloppy, unusually sloppy to me.
It wasn't the high point of the season for me, but it wasn't. I wasn't taken with egregious offense towards it either. Like I was just like, all right, it's a serviceable episode. It's setting up what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. Hopefully, some epic confrontations and deliciousness.
Well, so that was just like that's the main core of the episode. Those are my nitpicks about it. Meanwhile, Fisk goes to try to get the painting back.
Yes, that was interesting, and. You get a more humanized version of Wilson Fisk here, where she would have wanted it. I don't give a fuck what she would have wanted.
And he goes, well, I do. No, you're like, so on the one hand...
How old could that lady even be?
110.
Right?
I don't know. So, like, on the one hand, right, if I want to be hypercritical, it turns out to be like a Nazi painting, like an illicit, like it.
Well, no, it was a Jewish
I know
painting,
Nazis didn't paint it. I'm saying like it's like the Nazi gold or something like that. Like when you have a thing that's like, oh, it's in its rightful place finally, and you obtained it through like it was fruit of the poison tree or some horrible thing like that, right? Which is very like, okay, fine. I guess the painting just happens to be the whatever, right? And then like the whole reason for it is because it has to be like impossibly. Like as like an ethical thing. It has to be like impossibly obvious because you want Fisk to be like, okay, like and just like kill her and like take the painting or whatever. But he has a moment where he's like, no, right? And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I just couldn't like that. That's I just in my head like I'm like okay, so like in like let's be generous and say she was born in 1960 maybe, because she said no, I'm sorry 19.
06?
No, it wouldn't be 1906. She said she was a toddler
so she was
when she was at the concentration camps. That was 1940.
1938 or something? So she was born in like 1935.
Yeah.
So she's, what, 80?
Pretty old.
And
she looked
I didn't do the math
not
on
80.
That. No, she looks like a spry 62-year-old. It's fine.
But, that's what being rich can do to you. But I was just like...
She's getting injected with spinal fluid
the blood
from
of the babies.
Yes, exactly. There's a cool line during that story where she says something like, do you know what it's like to watch your father draw his last breath right in front of you? And Wilson's Fisk was like... whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
That's
that's
would never relate. It's like, well, I did kill him.
that's
so,
pretty good. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I don't know if we're done with the painting. If we are, it's kind of weird, kind of
I
funny.
do think we're done with the painting.
Yeah, I don't like that then. That's kind of dumb. Also, this whole time, I'm like, just get a print. What's wrong with you?
Or Dex like to try to like make up like kill that woman and take it and that would be the end of it.
I would love that, but I don't know how that that's gonna fit in the time that we have left.
It won't.
But that would have been a great thing where Fisk was like, "That was my personal growth moment, and you ruined it," and he'd be all like upset. But the painting, I have the painting, and they'd be like, "You just disappoint me."
But like her
everyone else."
blood is on it, like it's a spray. You've ruined it.
It's ruined now. Oh yeah. No. I like that. No, we're not doing that. But like, I don't want to say why even bring the painting up. Like this was like garbage. It was fine. But I'm sort of underwhelmed with the whole ending of the painting. I also think we're never going to actually see Vanessa, right? They kind of do this thing.
I would have thought we would never see her, but I do think we're going to see her.
What changed your this maybe?
Well, there was some line like they said she's flying in at some point. So assuming the shit doesn't hit the fan before that plane lands,
Okay.
we should get a mild interaction with her at least.
Yeah, I was beginning to
Because he is
fear.
exonerated now, so there's
Yeah.
no reason for her not to be in the country.
I was beginning to fear that we would not see her.
I don't even like that. I'm like, how did he get exonerated? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Perfect segue. He gives a press conference.
Yeah.
And the music's great, and he walks out, and it's all great, and then the crowd's booing, and he gives his speech, and it's all and then the boos die down, and it becomes this awkward.
Yeah, now he's running for
silence
mayor.
thing. It's this whole thing. Yeah.
No, I didn't like that because I didn't think that what he was on trial for or in jail for was anything that could just be like, oh no, he's fine.
No, and maybe I just missed it. Do you recall them trying to work to get the conviction?
I don't remember it ever being
reversed?
said. No.
So if they had done a thing where there was maybe one of Dex's missions is to go do something for a judge somewhere,
kill a witness or something. Yeah.
And make try to start making that happen, right? Because that would have been perfect. Because then now that Fisk has Dex, now that he has Bullseye, right?
Yeah.
He can start to use that, and that'll foreshadow the stuff that will never happen because the show is canceled. Where he's playing it both straight normal business, illegal criminal bad business, and then supervillain oh no, when shit really gets deep, I can just send in a guy to actually burn the judge's house down and then get out and do impossible things or whatever, right? I would have liked that, but here it just felt kind of could this have happened 2 episodes ago? Could it happen 2 episodes from now? Did that just randomly happen? Why is it happening now?
Yeah, it felt very weird, but potentially now it'll be easier to get to Fisk because he could actually be out of the house.
Yeah. I don't know though. That kind of we only have 2 episodes left. I'm not sure how the Fisk thing gets resolved.
I want him to die, I think, just because I wouldn't have wanted him to die if the show was continuing. But I'm like, yeah, it's ending. Wrap it up. Knock it out with a punch.
I kind of thought about everything overall, and I feel like they actually do a decent job of ending seasons in a place where I desperately want to know more. But I'm also I can live with this. This is okay. So I'm hoping that it ends okay.
This will not be that. This will be
the opposite.
Cliffhanger. We're so excited.
I know. So I'm just trying to bring what I want to happen into existence with my positive energy and my thoughts here.
Sure.
Okay. I want it to end okay. I feel like maybe he'll go back to prison, and then that'll be the whole.
At the very least, that should
maybe
happen.
Dex dies. They shouldn't kill him if they want the show forever. But
well, what they want is irrelevant.
Well, I mean, if we go back in time and think about what they would want, whatever. Speaking of Fisk, though, he gets very unhappy at one point. I loved the whole.
When he puts
give me your coat, and the guy's like, okay, you weirdo. I don't know. I'm not sure where this is going. And you as an audience member are like, I'm sure where this is going. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And he just smashes that dude to death, and then holds him up all weird, throws him down. Pull over.
Yeah.
Get rid of the body. Right.
It's an interesting move right after being exonerated.
I like it, right? Because it in an episode where he has a moment of perhaps redemption by not strangling that Jewish broad to death and stealing her painting, he then just takes out his rage and murders a dude right there, right?
A potential FBI agent.
Yes. Well, he's like, oh, fuck, whatever. It's like, you guys handle this in the FBI. I don't need this shit. But it's great, right? Because Dex does some goofy primal scream like in a van, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to practice, it's like do as I say, not as I do type of thing, where Fisk was like, sometime perhaps a primal scream would help. And he's like, I'll try that. That's fine. Meanwhile, Fisk is like so pissed off that his plans aren't working. They're just pummeling this dude to death and like killing him. And I was like, all right, that's a nice little thing that we built here for ourselves. Yeah.
The scream I thought was funny because I was like, I'm pretty sure they could all hear you.
It's like that's like a paper thin van. It makes no sense. I wrote that down like in all caps. The goofy primal scream 10 feet away from the people. Like, what are you talking about? That's horrible.
Just comes out just a tie. Oh, what's up?
Hi. Hey, guys. Yeah, what's up? I'm charismatic again because I'm a psychopath. And again, not that it's the end of the world, but he was down in the church in like the stone old like building or something like that, and saw the thing that like he sees the blood where he's like, oh no,
the handprint.
they eluded me or whatever, and maybe he could scream there, and you could have it like echoing through like the church, this eerie thing where everyone's like, what the fuck was that or something like that, right? And not have him walk all the way outside and then wave to someone and then go into a van and then scream as loud as possible. Whatever, it's fine. Pick your poison. 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Sure.
No issues.
It
ends with Nadine going home. Sees a busted vase.
Oh yes, I forgot about this.
And he's like, oh god, and it's the fake out. So you're like, okay, well now we're just now we're in fake out territory. Everything's fine.
But we're not.
We're in double reverse fake out territory.
Yeah.
Where the FBI is there, and we get like action star Nadine. We get like upstairs right now, lie in the tub, don't come out until I like whatever. And it's like pew 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 pew, and like rolling and doing all these things, and everything's great.
And then Daredevil shows up.
He shows up to save him just when you're like, oh no. Daredevil's like and like gets the guy. It's great.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was so like this was a good little sequence. I feel like because it wasn't. I'm like joking about how like it's action star Nadine. It was relatively conservative. He's just ducking behind stuff and like popping some shots off.
No, you think there's a good possibility he'll get shot again?
Right? Well, because he's been shot already. So you're like, oh no, right? So like as that sequence starts, you don't really know exactly what's going to happen, right?
No,
because he that could be his like heroic death. That that could lead to this whole thing.
Well, you had to assume he was going to live because he is the only one left that can turn on Fisk for them.
And he is in the thumbnail for the next episode. But
well, you're cheating.
Mentally, you would know. But watching the episode, you should not know if because maybe then Daredevil's like, oh no. Now these, the wife and kid are like in danger. I have to help them or something, right? Do like a thing or whatever. But yeah, Daredevil says like, well, you helped Karen, so you owe me one. Takes off the mask so he can see his face and all that stuff. So now they're going to be like a dynamic duo going after Fisk, both legally and illegally. I don't know. Yes,
makes sense. Cop,
lawyer, cop and lawyer. And superhero and action star Nadine. Yeah,
but so it was overall a decent episode.
It was fine. I'm not saying that I hated it. I'm just saying that this is the kind of episode when you're binge watching that you just go, okay, keep it going, let it ride, roll again. No. This one didn't count. One more.
It definitely interested me for what's going to happen in the next episode. No great predictions because like there wasn't a crazy amount of telegraphing in this episode, but optimistic. 2 episodes left.
I think we're building, obviously, to like a showdown. The way these work, we said maybe next episode will be like the thing. It's not clear yet to me where it's going to happen or how or why or whatever.
No, you're going to definitely get the biggest action is going to be at the end of this episode, beginning of the episode after that, and then you're going to have like that like sum up lull bit that all of them do where we're wrapping up and like giving you the little Easter egg toward what's going to happen next season that's not going to happen.
Yeah, like a lot of the seasons end like halfway through their last episode. Effectively,
yeah, there'll be like a sigh with a red like ribbon stabbed into his desk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Did we get any cameos from any other heroes?
Not in this season, though.
Just did we get any cameos at all? Actually,
the gun salesman, right? Or is that maybe
I don't even know.
I don't know. There
could be some of that in store. We don't know. But I assume so. He's gonna, they're gonna hatch a plan. They're gonna attempt to execute that plan. Fisk is gonna be aware of it. He's gonna try to have Dex stop the plan, and some of that stuff that we've set up will come back to haunt us.
Indeed. All right, guys, that's everything that happened in this episode. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.